Alright, everybody, so we are back with this week's episode of TEW 9, the War of Immortals save, with the WWF Classics, the Primetime Wrestling. So, we are going to take a look back at last week's episode, and then I will head into booking this week's episode. So, in our first pre-show, we had the Fabulous Freebirds defeat Cowboy Bob Orton and Magnificent Morocco. We had Bobby and Tony run down our card. We gave Ken Patera a win over Big John Studd. We had Greg the Hammer Valentine talk about being the greatest $1,000,000 champion of all time. Then we had Greg Valentine and the Midnight Express defeat George Animal Steel and Demolition. And we had Jimmy Cornette run his mouth about Demolition and how they are losers. And then we had King Martel defeat Haku. We had the Texas Tornado talk about Unknown. Then we had Andre the Giant and the Texas Tornado defeat Jerry Lawler and Kamala. We had Bobby Heenan talk about the scouting that he has been doing for the New Horsemen and their newest member who will be debuting at Saturday night's main event. We had Barry Windham defeat Pat Patterson, who made his a one-off appearance. Then we had Bobby Heenan set out a challenge for Sid, for anybody to face Sid at the upcoming Saturday night's main event. Harley Race defeated Sid Vicious. Piper lays out a warning to the Great Muta. We had Arn and Tully defeat the Fantastics. We had the Freebirds warn the Horsemen. The Great Muta defeated Tenru, and then after the match, Piper attacks the Great Muta. So last week's episode got us an 86, so not too bad. So I am going to jump in right now and book this week's episode. Alright, everybody, so we are back. We have the whole show booked, so let's jump into it with our first pre-show match here. In a poor pre-show match, Big John Studd and Kamala defeated the Killer Bees in 9:38 when Kamala pinned Jim Brunzell with a splash. The crowd is expectant and simmering. The wrestling rating is a 52. The crowd rating is a 42. The segment got us a 56. Kamala had a 54. Big John Studd had a 50. Brian Blair had a 51. Jim Brunzell had a 54. Jim Brunzell and Brian Blair got a tag team specialist bonus. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. Teddy Long did good work at ringside, and Colonel Robert Parker did good work at ringside too. So let's head to our next pre-show match. In a pre-show match that had decent wrestling, but little heat, Bad News Brown, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Magnificent Morocco defeated Tenru and the Fantastics in 9:46 when Don Morocco pinned Tommy Rogers with the Hawaiian Hammer. In terms of in-ring work, Tenru was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat at the end is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating got us a 61. The crowd rating got us a 40. The segment got us a 70. Don Morocco had a 59. Bob Orton Jr. had a 57. Bad News Brown had a 63. Bobby Fulton had a 57. Tommy Rogers had a 52. And Tenru had a 76. And he was also off his game. So he probably would have did about an 80 or so. The commentary quality lifted the match. The color commentary gave us a boost. So let's head in to Tony and Bobby running down our show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another explosive edition of WWFC Primetime Wrestling. I'm Tony Schiavone alongside Bobby the Brain Heenan, and tonight, we've got a lineup that's going to blow the roof off. Tony, I'm fired up, and not just because I'm standing next to the best mind in the business, me, but because tonight we're going to see some of the biggest matches this side of Saturday night's main event. In our huge main event, the WWFC champion Roddy Piper is stepping into the ring with the dangerous Sid Vicious. And you just know, Bobby, this one's going to erupt in total chaos. Roddy Piper's been talking big game, but let's see how he handles the man that nobody wants to stand across from. If Sid hits that powerbomb, we may need to scrape Piper off that mat. Also tonight, 6-man tag team action. As the New Horsemen, Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard team up to take on a reunited Harley Race and Strikeforce, Tito and Rick Martel. Let's tell you something, Shivani. This New Horseman unit is untouchable. You've got brains, brawn, and precision. Harley and the Pretty Boys won't know what hit them. And kicking off tonight, a tag team showdown as Michael P.S. Hayes and Terry Gordy, the Freebirds, go toe-to-toe with the wild and unpredictable duo of the Islanders, Haku and Tama. Talk about a fight, Tony. That one's gonna be like 4 guys in a barroom brawl. No rules, no mercy, and hey, the Freebirds are looking to send a message ahead of Saturday night's main event. It's all going down tonight, folks. Don't dare change the channel. WWFC Primetime Wrestling is coming at you next. So, the crowd heat is hot and rising. The segment got us a 92. It advanced all of our storylines. Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase. The angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show off to a strong start. So let's head to our first match. In a decent match, the Texas Tornado defeated Iron Mike Sharp in 8:30 by pinfall. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got us a 61. The crowd rating got us a 54. The segment got us a 72. The Texas Tornado had an in-ring performance of 75. Iron Mike Sharp had a 47. It advanced the Texas Tornado storyline. The color commentary gave the match a boost as well. So, let's head to excuse me, our next segment. This is the best promo I've gotten out of these two. Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, you boys have strutted and screamed your way into a match you don't belong in. You think a few guitar riffs and some rebel shouting is going to win you a fight against the best tag team in the WWFC? Nah. All that glitz and glam ends the second you step into the ring with the Horsemen. Let me make this real clear. July the 20th, Saturday night's main event. You two are walking into the ring with professionals. You're not dancing into the main event. You're being dragged there to get stomped out. This ain't your honky-tonk bar, boys. This is a war, and we fight with precision and punishment. At Saturday night's main event, we're going to put you in the ground, and when it's over, you'll be lucky to make it to the pre-show, let alone sniff a title shot. We're the standard, we're the backbone, and on July 20th, we bury the Freebirds and remind the world why the New Horsemen run this company. Believe that. So, the crowd heat is white hot. The segment got us an 84. It advanced the Horsemen Freebird storyline. And it got the angle, got the crowd hotter as well. So, let's head to our next match. In a decent match, the fabulous Freebirds defeated the Islanders in 12:59 when Terry Gordy pinned Tama with the acidic spike. Tama was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else's in-ring performances. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 60. The crowd rating got a 47. And the segment got us a 75. So Terry Gordy had a 73. Michael P.S. Hayes had a 51. Haku had a 78. Tama had a 39. It advanced the Horseman Freebird storyline. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy showed excellent chemistry. Tama and Haku showed excellent chemistry teaming together. They also got a tag team bonus, and the color commentary gave the match a boost as well. So we're seeing a good little run from the Freebirds. They are improving, getting over a little bit more. So let's head to the next segment. You know something? I keep hearing the whispers in the locker room. Everybody wants a shot at the hammer. Everybody wants this $1 million championship. But here's the thing. Wanting it and taking it from me, that's two very different things. You think you got what it takes? Step up. I don't care who you are. Legends, rookies, it doesn't matter. It's not hard to find. You want this gold, you better be ready for a fight, because I don't just beat people, I hurt people. This title stays with me, and I'll defend it against anyone brave or stupid enough to try and take it from me. Bring your best, and then find out it's not good enough. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 73, so that's the best we got. But it's mostly because the angle idea that I tossed up was a success. The color commentary also gave it a boost, and it advanced the Valentine, Ronnie Garvin, and George Steele's storyline. So let's head to the next match. I didn't think this was going to get very good. So in a decent match, Greg Valentine defeated George Animal Steele, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, in 9:51 when Valentine pinned George with a hit with guitar. So Greg Valentine makes defense number 2 of the $1 million title. George Steele was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 56. The crowd rating is a 62. The segment got a 68. So George Steele had a 46. Greg Valentine had a 64. Rugged Ronnie Garvin had a 58. It advanced the triple threat storyline. The commentary quality lifted it, and the color commentary gave the match a boost. So let's head to our next segment. Barry, we both know what's coming. We've danced around it long enough. You're the United States champion, and I've worn that gold more times than you've had birthdays. And one day soon, you and I, we're going to stand in the center of that ring, and only one man's walking out with that title. Harley, I've looked up to you. You're one of the toughest men to ever lace up the boots. But times changed. I'm the one carrying this title now. And when that day comes, you're going to find out exactly why you want it. You better be ready to fight like hell to take it. I'm always ready, Wyndham. When the bell rings, I'm not coming to wrestle. I'm coming to win. And when it's all said and done, I'll be standing over you holding my United States Championship high in the air. We'll see about that race. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 92. It advanced the Barry Windham Harley Race storyline. Harley Race improvised well throughout the segment. So let's head to the next match. In a decent match, the Great Muta defeated Ken Patera in 12:47 by pinfall. I don't know why he doesn't say with his Shining Wizard. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 66. The crowd rating got a 64. The segment got us a 79. Muta had a 77. Ken Patera had a 55. It advanced the Piper Muta storyline. The color commentary gave it a boost. James Mitchell did good work at ringside, and the Great Muta and James Mitchell are a good pairing. They play off each other well. So, still trying to build up Muta a little more. for his title match in a couple of weeks. So let's head to our next segment. Demolition. You two paint wearing goons have been stomping around the WWFC like you own the place. But come Saturday night's main event, July the 20th, you're stepping into the ring with the greatest tag team in the world today. That's right, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, the Midnight Express. The real gold standard in tag team wrestling. You can huff and puff all you want, Axe and Smash, but the Midnight Express don't get intimidated. We've beaten teams faster, stronger, and crazier than you. And at Saturday night's main event, we're going to do what we always do. Outthink you, out-wrestle you, and outclass you. You want to fight, boys? You're going to get it. But when the dust settles, these titles, they're staying right where they belong, with us. Demolition, you bring your face paint, your leather, your bad attitudes. We'll bring skill, brains, and the most dangerous tennis racket in this business. Saturday night's main event, the Midnight Express will leave with the gold. And you two leave flat on your backs. Bank on it. So, the crowd heat, it's very hot. We got a 72, finally, a good promo from Corny. It advanced the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. And Jim Cornette benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to the Midnight Express's match, I think is next. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the Midnight Express defeat the Dudley Boys in 15:29 when Bobby Eaton pinned Devon Dudley with the rocket launcher. At the Midnight Express make defense number 3 of the WWFC World Tag Titles. Bobby Eaton carried the match. In terms of in-ring work, the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 77. The crowd rating is a 66. And the segment got an 82, so Devon had a 75, Bubba had a 73, Stan Lane had a 67, and Bobby Eaton had a 94. It advanced the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. Bubba and Devon showed excellent chemistry. They got a tag team bonus. Bobby and Stan showed excellent chemistry. Both Bobby and Stan have great chemistry with Jim Cornette. Bubba benefited from having a hot new move, and the match got the crowd buzzing as well. So let's head to our next segment. Ooh. Woo! Saturday night's main event is just around the corner, and it's all talk about this mystery man, this so-called unknown. Well, let me tell you something, brother. It doesn't matter if your name's unknown, unstoppable, or unbeatable, because when you step into the ring with the Texas Tornado, your name becomes overmatched. You've been hiding behind some smoke and shadows, waiting to make some grand entrance. Well, guess what? When that bell rings, all the mystery gets blown away like a tumbleweed in a Texas storm. I don't need to know your name to knock it off the marquee. At Saturday night's main event on July the 20th, you're stepping into the ring, or into the eye of the storm, and when I hit you with that spinning tornado punch, you're going to find out exactly why the Texas Tornado is one of the most dangerous men in this business. Get ready, unknown. Your time is almost up. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got an 82, and the Texas Tornado versus Unknown storyline has advanced with the segment. So let's head to the next match. Oh, this match is fantastic. In a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Harley Race and Strikeforce defeated the New Horsemen Arn, Barry, and Tully in 14:23 when King Martel pinned Barry Windham. Tito was the weak link, which I kind of figured was going to happen. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is an 81. The crowd rating is a 74. The segment got us an 86. Tully had an 81, Barry had a 90, Arn Anderson with an amazing 98, Tito had a 58, King Martel had a 76, and Harley Race had an 85. So it advanced the Barry Harley storyline and the Horseman and the Freebird storyline. So that is a great match to have. So let's head to the next segment. Yes. You know, I've been sitting back and listening to all this hype about Andre the Giant. How he's this unbeatable monster, this so called eighth wonder of the world. Well, let me tell you something, Andre. I've seen wonders more impressive than you in a circus sideshow. You call yourself a giant, but what I see is a yellow bellied coward. That's right, I said it. You got lucky at King of the Ring, and ever since then you've been ducking me like a scared little boy. You don't have the manhood to step back in the ring with me, and you know it. If you had an ounce of courage in that oversized frame of yours, you'd face me like a man. But no, you'd rather lumber around hiding behind your size, because deep down you know the king has your number. So here's your royal decree, Andre. Grow a backbone, find your guts, and face me again, if you've got the nerve. So the segment, the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 74. I have to figure out why Jerry's not doing good promos anymore. The storyline got advanced. The color commentary gave the segment a boost. And Jerry Lawler benefited from having a hot catchphrase as well, so that's not too bad. So let's head to the next match. In an extremely short match, Andre the Giant defeated Hiroshi Hase in 5-10 by pinfall with his butt drop. Andre had a 72. Hiroshi Hase had a 73, so that's not bad. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 72. The crowd rating was a 65. We got a 70 from that match. It advanced the Andre Jerry Lawler storyline. Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan worked extremely well. The commentary gave it a boost, and the color commentary gave it a boost as well, so that's not too bad. So let's head to the next segment. 10 days. 10 days, Muda. That's all the time you've got left to roam around the WWFC like some kind of shadowy ghost with mist and mystery. You want to come after the hot rod? You want to spit mist in my eyes and think it's going to scare me? Buddy, I've been fighting maniacs, giants, and legends since before you ever crawled into a wrestling ring. You might have the mist, you might have James Mitchell whispering sweet nothings in your ear, but what you don't have is the heart and the fire and the chaos that I bring. I don't flinch, I don't back down, and on July 20th at Saturday Night's Main Event, I'm not just fighting to keep my name. I'm fighting to run you out of the WWFC for good. You want to be a champion, Muda? You just gotta go through Roddy Piper to do it. And trust me, pal, that road ends in pain, and you're gonna find out exactly why they say, just when you think they got the answers, I change the questions. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 92. At advanced the Piper Muda storyline. Piper improvised well throughout the segment. The Roddy Piper angle I used was a success, and the Roddy Piper benefited from having a hot catchphrase as well. So let's head to our main event. In a wild brawl with sensational wrestling and great heat, Sid Vicious defeated Roddy Piper in 13:46 by pinfall with his powerbomb. During the match, we also had the Great Muda distract Piper, so the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 95. The crowd rating is an 84. The segment got us a 90. Piper had a 97. Sid had a 93. It advanced both the Roddy Piper Muda storyline and Sid's storyline. Tony and Bobby worked extremely well, and Sid benefited from having a hot new move. So let's head to the ending of the show. Not bad. In 89, and it increased our popularity in 8 regions. Would have got 1 more in Canada and 6 in Mexico. So let's finish that off. The financial report, we made $1.1 million off of that. We're up to 70 in British Columbia. We need a little bit more. Well, 10 more in the Maritimes to get us up to the next stage. So, that is everything for this episode. I will see everyone in the next one.